And are we rolling yet? We are rolling. Okay, apologies for the poor video quality here. I'm working with my bad cell phone here. My good cell phone kind of petered out on me, and it's overheating, so we had to switch to the second backup here. But yeah, what I want to do today is to start focusing on entrepreneurial quotes from famous entrepreneurs. And the quote for today is Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn once said, "We don't get paid for the hour. We get paid for the value that we bring to the hour." And there's another quote that's attributed to Jim Rohn too. And actually, Jim Rohn got this from one of his mentors. But this quote is even more simple, more basic. We get paid for bringing value to the marketplace. And this thinking is actually very valuable once you figure out what it means. Once you're able to figure it out, it really opens the door to your earning potential in life. So many people in our society today, they don't want to bring value. They want to get value. They want money for nothing. Matter of fact, that was a very popular Dire Straits song back in the day. Money for nothing, chicks for free, play your guitar on the MTV. Pretty neat song. But I mean, that it was popular because that's the dominant attitude that we have in our society, even today, especially today. Everybody wants free healthcare, free housing, free food, free clothes, free education, free this, free that. And they're not worried about what do I have to do in order to bring value to the world so that I can get, food, clothing, housing, education, this, that, and the other thing. And the way the marketplace is set up, the way the global economy actually runs, is that we get paid for bringing value into the world. If you're not bringing anything of value into the world, you shouldn't really expect to get paid. St. Paul once wrote very famously, I forget which of his epistles it was, but he who does not work, neither let him eat. People in the early Christian communities, they were gravitating to the early Christian communities because the community would house them, the community would feed them, the community would give them clothes, and some of the people didn't want to work. They didn't want to contribute to the community. And so, sometimes they had to deal with that problem. What do we do with people who just want to be freeloaders? And Paul's advice for communities like that: somebody doesn't want to work, don't let them eat, don't pay them. And, he was saying in other words, if they're not bringing value to your marketplace, they shouldn't be getting value from the marketplace. And that's a very basic law of economics. We get paid for the value that we bring to the marketplace. And yet, there are people out there that think all I have to do to get money is to land a minimum wage job, go in, report in, do the bare minimum amount of work that they require, and then as long as I'm punching that time clock, as long as I'm punching myself in, punching myself out, following the basic rules of the shop, I'm going to get paid a minimum wage. And so that's the mindset that so many people have, that I'm going to go in there, I'm going to do the minimum amount of work, and I'm going to get paid the minimum amount of money that the law will allow. And I mean, that's no way to grow. It's certainly no way to grow a home-based business. If we want to grow a home-based business, then we have to be focused on bringing value to people. And we have to do that consistently, and we have to do that over time. You don't get paid immediately for the value that you bring to the marketplace. Sometimes it takes time for that value to kind of percolate down into the marketplace and for other people to discover the value that you have to bring. There's the saying, you build a better mousetrap and the world's going to beat a path to your door. Well, if all you do is think of a design for a better mousetrap, but you don't actually build it, odds are the world is not going to beat a path to your door. Now, if you come up with a design for a better mousetrap and you write it out on paper, you actually build that mousetrap, the world might still beat a path to your door. But I have heard of inventors, people that say they claim they invented, this kind of a battery, and they never took it to market. They never did anything with it. And later on, a few years later, somebody else came up a very similar idea. They patented it. They took it to the marketplace. They showed it to various corporations. They made millions on it. And meanwhile, you got this joker sitting over here saying, well, I had that idea. Back in the day, I had that idea. I should be making that kind of money. Well, yeah, you had the idea. Maybe you even developed the prototype, which you kept in the back room of your garage for years and years and years. You never took it out to the world. You never demonstrated it. You never showed it to any corporations. You never showed it to anybody. You just kept it hidden in a closet. And if you're keeping your talents hidden under a bushel basket, as it were, then how is the world going to know you have those talents? You have to take your ideas, take your value that you have, bring it to the marketplace, and then patiently and with determination, though, patiently wait, but work with determination. And eventually, people will begin to see the value that you have to give, and then they will start beating a path to your door. But this sort of thing does not happen overnight. One guy that I follow, Ray Higdon, I started following him on one of his early YouTube channels. One of the channels that was later taken down because a lot of people on YouTube complained that this guy was trying to scam people. And he wasn't. He wasn't trying to scam people. He was sharing value. And you got a lot of tough cookies on YouTube and elsewhere online that they're just so jaded. They're just so skeptical. They see somebody sharing their experiences and trying to help other people and try to share value that they think, man, this guy's got to be a scammer. People are that jaded anymore. And he got his first YouTube channel shut down. Then I think he said he built a second YouTube channel, and that got shut down. And then he decided to walk away from it. But I think he did. He fought it. And YouTube took a look at the value that he had in his YouTube channel, and they brought him back. And yeah, you can find him again on YouTube. But yeah, a lot of value that he brings to the marketplace. But I mean, he didn't get recognized as a great entrepreneur, as a great business leader. He didn't get recognized overnight. He didn't make his first $1 million overnight. I think he says when he's sharing his story, he followed a certain philosophy, the go for no philosophy. If you haven't read that book, read it. It's a great read. But he followed the go for no principle for 6 months. Started, I think he said within 6 months, he had gotten to the point of earning 6 figures. And then he kept following the go for no principle, where he wanted to hear 20 no's every day, 7 days a week. And after a year of that kind of determination, he was making $1 million a year. But it did not happen overnight. It took him time. And he was willing to give it as much time as it needed in order to get to where he wanted to go. I've heard of another entrepreneur, some guy that I follow in one of the business opportunities that I'm involved in. He took 4 years in network marketing, in affiliate marketing, 4 years of floundering, going into debt, not making anything, and then finally, it all began to click for him. He finally figured out what he needed to do. He figured out how he needed to do it. And now he's a $1 million earner too. But it didn't happen for him overnight either. Took him 4 years to get to where he wanted to be. And now, he's there and he's happy. But people enter into home-based business opportunities, affiliate marketing opportunities, network marketing opportunities, and they want immediate gratification. That's our Achilles heel in this culture right now. We want it now. We want it immediately. We want instant karma, as John Lennon once put it. Instant gratification. And you don't get anything in life easily. Usually you don't get anything in life immediately. It takes time. And if you don't have the determination to put enough of your time into learning something, then you're not going to learn how to do it. You're never going to master the art, and you'll never start getting paid the value that you want to pay. You want to be paid by doing a new discipline, a new business, a new opportunity. You have to be patient. You have to be patient and determined. And you have to be teachable. You have to be coachable. You have to be willing to learn. And yeah, just giving it 7 days, and if you haven't made any money in 7 days, just throwing in the towel and quitting, some people get married with that kind of an attitude. And you know what? Those marriages do not last. It's amazing. Some people get married, the next week they're getting divorced. Crazy. But that's the level of determination, the level of commitment that they have, which is basically zero, nil. And people if you get involved in a home-based business with that kind of an attitude, you are never going to make it. You need to have long-term commitment. You need to recognize that, home-based business is like any other discipline. It takes time to learn it. And then once you learn it, it takes time to do the basics. And then after you've been doing the basics for a while, it takes time to start getting good at doing the basics. And then once you've learned the basics, you've gotten good at doing the basics, and then you started learning more advanced stuff, that's when stuff starts kicking in. But it does not happen immediately. Ray Higdon, took him about 6 months, and he had some good coaching. He had a good book that he was reading out of, and he was following that book. Go for No. Great book. Catch it, read it, put it into practice. Some good stuff there. But yeah, it took him 6 months. Other guys, 4 years. I've heard of people that spent 17 years trying to get their home-based business going using a network marketing type of a program. 17 years. Finally figured it out. Thank God they didn't throw in the towel after only 7 days. But yeah, the person that had that level of determination, man, that's like cool. I would have given up. I've been in this space. I've been working from home since 2011, trying to dream up, products and services that I could provide for people in my local community. That's how I built my first few home-based businesses. And then I decided, hey, let's try affiliate marketing. It's got to be easy, right? You do it all online, right? You just spam your link out on social media and people buy your stuff. Easy, right? No, wrong. Does not work that way. It's taken me about 4 years myself to get to this point to where I'm finally figuring out how to do online marketing, how to do affiliate marketing and network marketing, finally figuring out how to get some results. And yeah, it's pretty neat. And now I'm trying to figure out, okay, the next level, get from, part-time to full-time, go from, 5 figures to 6 figures. It's all a learning process. And we go through this learning process. We learn at our own rate. We learn at our own speed. But, it takes time. And I like to compare it to a person that goes to college to get a degree so that they can hopefully get a good job. I have never heard, not yet anyway, but I have never heard of a person that signs up for college one day and then the very next day they go out into the marketplace and get a 6-figure a year job. Have never heard of that happening. Usually, what I hear of people doing is that they spend 2 years to get a 2-year college degree, or 4 years to get a 4-year liberal arts college degree. And then at the end of that 2-year period or 4-year period, then they get that little piece of paper, they take it out into the marketplace, and they try to find a good job. Sometimes they get a good job, other times they don't. There is no guarantee. I've got 2 college degrees myself. I have never had a 6-figure a year job with those 2 college degrees. Maybe I need 2 or 3 more college degrees. Maybe I should have gotten it in something besides philosophy and religious studies. That probably would have helped. But yeah, I was a candidate for the priesthood at the time, and while I was in college, very idealistic, thought I'm going to serve God and Jesus and the church and all that. And then the deeper and deeper I got into it, the more doubts that I began to have, and later figured out, I'm not a good fit for the priesthood. So yeah, that didn't work out for me. But you know what? In affiliate marketing and in network marketing, if you're willing to give it a good length of time, some people are out there teaching you how to get 6 figures in 6 months. But if you're willing to give it at least a year, you can probably start seeing some good results. But I mean, that's not a guarantee. The results are not typical. We're all different. Some people learn quickly. Some people learn very slowly. Some people are just very hard cookies, tough nuts to crack. They don't learn at all. And yeah, they can put in like 2 decades. I know another guy, home-based business, been messing around online for 2 decades, has not gotten any business into profit yet. He treats his home-based business like a hobby. As long as it's fun, as long as it's affordable, as long as he's not losing too much money doing it, he likes doing it. But he has never learned how to make a business profitable in 2 decades. Now, that's really about the worst case scenario that I have heard of yet. But yeah, there's all kinds of people in this world. Some will figure this out fast. Other people figure it out far more slowly. But yeah, eventually though, once we learn the value that we have within, once we learn the value that's in the programs that we are marketing or the products that we are trying to market in an affiliate marketing type of a business, once we see the value in network marketing and networking with other people and networking with the right people, then, once we start building networks and finding the value that we have and the value that we can offer to other people, and we learn how to communicate that value and express that value well, then we can start making sales. But it doesn't happen overnight. But eventually, we just have to break that mindset that, I want money for nothing. And people will get into business opportunities, online business opportunities. They're looking for something that won't cost them anything, but will just magically be spitting money out at them. Money for nothing. They don't even want to play their guitar on the MTV. They just want that dream, money for nothing. And that's not how the marketplace works. We don't get paid by the hour. We get paid for the value that we bring to the hour. And once we're clear on what value we have, and once we become consistent, bringing that value to other people and helping other people to improve their lives with the value that we bring to them, then eventually, we will start getting paid for the value that we bring. But Jim Rohn, in that one lecture of his that I watched on YouTube just this morning, said, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time for that value to filter through the system. It's going to take time for you to see the value that you have within. So many people working minimum wage. Why do they work minimum wage? Because they don't know their own value. They don't know their own worth. You know, back when I was working minimum wage, I thought I'm only worth $5 an hour. That's it. Pretty sad, isn't it? Now minimum wage in some places is like $12 an hour, $15, $20 an hour. And there are folks thinking that's all I'm worth. That's all anybody should be worth, right? And yeah, wrong. You are worth so much more than that. You know, I know folks that have less college education than what I have, who are making $1 million a year in income, doing what they love because, you know, they know the value that they have within them. And they got good at expressing that value and sharing that value with other people. Once you learn how to do the same, you can start writing your own paycheck too. But it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. See the value in yourself, learn how to express that, start giving that value freely to other people. And then once other people see the value that you have, they will start beating a path to your door, and you will eventually get to that point. If you're persistent and consistent enough, you might eventually get to that point to where you can write your own paycheck. But you have the right attitude, the right personality, be good at talking with other people, and that scares the bejesus out of a lot of folks. You know, I don't want to have to talk to people. I don't want to have to talk to people on the phone. I don't want to have to do live streams. Yeah, you're looking at a guy here. I never wanted to do a live stream in my life. Talking on the phone, oh, I shied away from that too. But you know, you have to do these things. You have to learn to bring value to other people in a way that other people can appreciate and understand. And then once that value becomes apparent, you can eventually start getting to the point where you can be writing your own paycheck. But it takes time, persistence, and just willingness to learn, willingness to be coachable, willingness to just let it take as long as it's going to take. And yeah, don't get impatient. Don't be a slacker either. That's another trap we can fall into. Impatience is one. You know, I'm not rich in 7 days, so I'm out of here. Well, being a slacker and just thinking, yeah, you know, I'm willing to spend 20 years on this. If I'm not making money on it, who cares? I'm having fun. Well, yeah, there are people out there that have been putting in 15, 20 years into their home-based business. Never made it profitable because they took the opposite extreme in mindset. The extreme that says, I'm just not going to stress, I'm not going to worry, I'm not going to be too overly committed to any one thing. I'm just going to bounce around from one thing to the other. And after 20 years, I'm still not making money, I'll just keep right on bouncing. Now, you have to be persistent and consistent and be dedicated to learning, dedicated to implementing what you learn, and just dedicated on bringing value to the marketplace. And yeah, if you do that, you can eventually get to the point where you can be living the life of your dreams. Most people will not do this. Most people sell themselves short and be working for minimum wage, maybe not even getting 40 hours a week. That's the sad thing. I know folks now was once working with people. I was once one of those people working for minimum wage, getting like 20 hours a week at the store, begging for full-time employment and just being part-time to death. There are a lot of people out there like that. A lot of people working for minimum wage, even in places where minimum wage is like $20 an hour, but they're not getting the hours. And even with that kind of minimum wage, if you're only getting 10 hours a week, 20 hours a week, you're not even at poverty level. And that's sad that there are people out there selling themselves that short that they think they have to get by on poverty level or less because that's all they feel they're worth. You are worth so much more. See the value that you have in yourself, learn how to express that value, patiently bring that value to the marketplace, and eventually start working your way, positioning yourself into a place to where you can start demanding the wages that you deserve, not just minimum wage. So that's all for this stream. I'll catch y'all later on tonight. Till then, take care. Bye-bye, and so long.